Hi, and welcome to my Pharmacy Profit Secrets webinar. Today we're going to learn some really cool strategies on how you can grow your pharmacy's profits, especially over the Christmas trading period. We're going to go through three main strategies to make it nice and easy for you. My goal for you at the end of the webinar is that you'll be able to move forward into this busy time with confidence and some great new tools under your belt to get the results you really deserve. Here are some of the key things you're going to learn today. You wouldn't be on this webinar if you didn't want to increase your profits and get more sales. Do you have issues where you can't get enough customers through the door? Well, lucky you're on the webinar because that's exactly what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you how you can get more customers through the door, but not only that, I'm also going to show you once they're there, how you can increase the size of the sales you make. And then how you can get those customers or patients coming back time and time again. Now, it is so much easier to sell more to a patient than it is to get you new customers. That is true, but I'm going to show you the whole deal. I'm going to show you how you can get new customers, how you can increase each sale, how you can keep your existing patients and keep them coming back more and more often, and ultimately increase your profits. All that within the next 60 minutes so that you'll walk out of this webinar and you'll be able to go straight back into the pharmacy and start working on some of these exercises to make more money straight away. I know that many of you are struggling right now. It's a tough time to be in pharmacy, but in the next 60 minutes I'm going to show you how you can get more of the right sort of customers through your door, spending more often, and how to increase your profit. But before we start, I just have a few logistics to run through. Firstly, if you could please close all of your open windows on your computer because it can slow down the internet speed. It can make the audio jumpy and interfere with the visuals. So do that for yourself now, and I'll just wait for a moment. Okay. Now, firstly, you'll see there's a control panel to the right of your screen. On the control panel, you'll see some buttons. One of these is a hands up facility. It's there so when I ask you a question, you can respond. So let's do a quick test now. Hands up those of you who want to increase your profit this Christmas. Just put your hand up. That's great. Thank you. Got lots of hands going up. That's terrific. Thanks for that. I'll just put them all down. Just bear with me for a sec. Okay, all good. All right. Now, I will be muting everybody on the call so we don't hear each other's background noise. That's fairly important. You'll also see that at the bottom of the control panel there's a question field. If you've got any questions along the way, please just type them into that box. I'll get to them at the end of the webinar. If I do miss your question, please be patient with me. I've got quite a lot of material to share with you. If you've typed your question in that question box, then I get a report at the end with all the questions and I'll be able to answer it after the webinar for you. So let's just have a quick practice now. If you could please type your answer to this question in the question box. Can you see the slides? Just want to make sure that everyone can see the slides. I'm getting yes, yes, yes. Okay, thank you very much for your responses. That's good. All right, so as you will have noticed, I'm going to talk at a fairly speedy pace because I want you to get maximum value for your investment of time and walk away from this hour with some great strategies that you can get some immediate wins with. In order for that to happen, I'm going to need feedback from you. So when I ask a question, I need you to be actively involved and type comments in the chat box as we go along. That way I can make sure that you're understanding and getting value from these strategies. We'll have another quick practice there. If you can please just type a yes in the chat box this time, just so I know that you can hear me. If you can just answer the question, can you hear me? Okay, I'm getting quite a few yeses. I'd love a few more just so I know that it's working for everybody. I know that we don't know each other yet, but I like to let people know straight up that I thrive on feedback and it allows me to tailor my comments to help you more, but I do need some commitment from you too so you really benefit. So if I can just get a few more yeses now, please. Great. Thank you. Terrific. Okay, let's continue. Thank you for that. As I mentioned, there is a lot to cover in this webinar, and I have so much information to help you, more than I could possibly cover in an hour, but I will show you some strategies. So by the end of the webinar, you can go into your pharmacy and implement these strategies immediately with your employees. There is a limit to what I can cover in the 60 minutes, so during this webinar, I'm going to show you how we can work together to ensure that happens. So, you know it's quite a negative climate out there right now. You know that there's issues. You know that the US economy is making you suffer. I know this. I see it time and time again. The last thing I want to do is see you suffer and see pharmacies suffer. We need pharmacies to survive and thrive because you're the guys that care. Why sales and marketing matters is that if it isn't treated as an absolute priority by you and your staff, you're slowly going to go bust, as more pharmacies are doing these days. I know you're aware of this or you wouldn't be here on the webinar today. Here are some facts though. More pharmacies have gone bankrupt in 2012 than in the 10 years before that. What I'm going to show you is how to get more customers in and spending more often so you don't become a statistic. As well, 8.4% of pharmacies in the last year have either gone bankrupt or they're now in financial distress. I don't want you to be the next one. So I think it's pretty clear and certainly well documented that unless you change the way you do business, and we're talking the next few weeks and months, not years here, then your profitability could be on a downward spiral, which will be really difficult, if not impossible, to reverse. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm guessing that if you knew the most effective way to increase your sales in a way where you truly believed you were adding value to your patients and customers and doing it ethically and with integrity, then you'd already be doing it, right? It's about having the best sales and marketing strategies for pharmacies, sure, but it's also about you and, just as importantly, your team being comfortable applying them. So today what I'm going to do is give you 3 great strategies you can take away with you and use tomorrow to immediately start to increase your sales and lift your profitability. What I can't do much of today is help you create a mindset that will set you and your team up for long-term commitment to your business as well as your patients and customers, or give you real conviction that focusing on your commitment to your business is just another way of adding even greater value to your patients and customers. When you do that, your customers ultimately become huge fans of who you are and what you do. We actually have 2 whole modules in the program just on mindset to get and keep you and your team motivated. At the conclusion of the webinar, I'm going to give some of you an opportunity to be part of this exclusive program we've created, which takes all of my 20 years of professional experience and combines it with the latest research and strategies in marketing and sales, the elements that are working in American pharmacy right now. I want to also let you know how you can access more information on sales and marketing in pharmacy today, so stay around till the end of the webinar for that. Now, you may be wondering at this point, who is this woman and why should I listen to her? How do I know she truly understands the unique issues facing pharmacy in the current climate? And that's a reasonable question. If it's okay with you, I'd just like to speak from the heart. Fact is, I'm on a mission. There's a reason I've been involved in the pharmacy industry over the past 25 years. Look, as a college student, being a pharmacy assistant was a great part-time job. But what I saw working there through my student years later connected with my experience as a young mum, and I had a light bulb moment. Working in pharmacy, I was fortunate enough to work with a group of people who genuinely cared about as well as for others. I realised that pharmacy isn't like regular retail. These people care and they make a difference every day when they come to work to literally hundreds of people. Fast forward a decade and my life was turned upside down with the birth of my first child. This time it was me relying on my local pharmacist for advice. I didn't have time to see the doctor and there were so many little things I didn't know and they always knew what to do. I think I went there so much because they actually listened and really understood. Most importantly, they had genuine concern and they never minimised how I was feeling. A friend of mine told me a story recently that was really familiar. She had a new baby at the time and he was badly infected with thrush in his mouth, and of course it had transferred to her as she was nursing him. They were both pretty miserable, and being a new mum, she didn't know what the problem was. Problem was, when she went to her doctor, neither did he. He looked it up on the internet, made a diagnosis, gave her a script for some expensive cream, charged her $120 and sent her off to the pharmacy downstairs. Now, the pharmacist took one look at the script and said, the problem is actually thrush and this other cream would be better instead. She took his advice. It cost her $20. Here's the deal. Doctors are massively overworked and can't know everything about everything. Pharmacists are absolute experts on a lot of everyday conditions, and it's quicker, more economical and often more effective to see them instead, at the very least as the first line of defence, and not least because they actually care. And you know, I've never met a pharmacist that doesn't care. And that service and caring is absolutely critical to every community. We're so distanced from our neighbours and often even from a community that having somewhere to come where you're helped and cared about is a really important contribution. I truly believe it's what stems the flow of the isolation that's happening in our world. Grocery stores can't provide that, and discounters are focused just on cutting prices. That's fine for some customers, but ultimately everybody wants advice and support. So the next question, I guess, is who am I to help you get that message out and help you build your loyal customer base? Fair enough. Here's why I can help you. Firstly, I'm an industrial organisational psychologist, and I've specialised in human behaviour and the psychology of sales and marketing for the last 20 years. So not only do I understand your employees and how they think and feel, but I know and understand your customers and patients too. Not only that, but as a psychologist and as a woman, I know how to appeal to your customer base and how to sell to them, which, you know, no surprises, that customer base is mainly female. And I know how pharmacy business works, your strengths and where your business is vulnerable. I've seen it as a pharmacy assistant. I've seen it when I was involved in wholesaling to pharmacies, and also as a psychologist working every day, training and mentoring a wide range of personalities on how to manage others and how to sell. So we have 60 minutes, so let's begin. 3 strategies for how to substantially increase your profits this Christmas so you start 2014 on a high with renewed confidence and vigour. You see, if you get a head start now, then you'll be in a position to focus calmly and strategically on your marketing going forward. What this means for you is that you can enjoy business again and have the lifestyle you've always wanted, spending as much or as little of your time in the pharmacy as you want. So is it okay if over the next 60 minutes together I show you step by step how to create those sorts of results and give you the opportunity to do the same for you and your business? Please just type a yes in the chat box so I know it's okay for me to continue. Great. Yes, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate all the responses I'm getting. That's terrific. Thank you. So these strategies are all about increasing the sales you make, but before you even do that, at Christmas, during the holiday period, it's all about getting your existing customers in more often, and then once they're there, increasing the lines per transaction. So whilst it's tempting to go out and search for lots of new customers, and the Christmas trading period is a great time because more people are walking around and they're in the mood to spend money, you need to be strategic about who you focus your sales and marketing efforts on, and it's much easier to get a sale from an existing patient or customer than it is to increase the size of the sale compared to someone new. And then you've also got the opportunity to increase the size of the sale from someone who already knows, likes and trusts you. We've all seen that statistic that the probability of selling to an existing customer is 60 to 70%, whereas the probability of selling to a new customer or prospect is 5 to 20%. It actually costs 6 or 7 times more to acquire a new customer than to retain an existing one. What you may not know, though, is that a 2% increase in customer retention has the same effect as decreasing costs by 10%, and a 5% reduction in the rate of customers leaving you and not coming back can actually increase your profits by up to 125%. And when you add to that 80% of your future revenue will come from just 20% of your existing customers, the importance of focusing on your existing customer base just cannot be overestimated. But you need to focus on them in the right way, and that means nurturing them. 70% of buying experiences are based on how the customer feels they're being treated. Add to that the fact that an amazing 55% of customers would pay extra to guarantee a better service, and you realise that you really need to notice how your customers are being treated by your employees. So how can you give your customers the attention and care they deserve at a time of year where they're used to transactional buying and your employees are focused on transactional customer service rather than selling? This is not about price. We're not interested in being part of a race to the bottom. Your customers will happily come to you and buy more if you sell them what they want, but also give them what they need. You see, customer service is what modern marketing is all about. Consider this. The single most important thing is to make people happy. If you're making people happy, as a side effect, they'll be happy to open up their wallets and pay you. What we're talking about here is much more than a smile and a pleasant greeting. It encompasses a true deep understanding of what your customer wants and needs beyond the obvious. Gary Vaynerchuk, who wrote a book called The Thank You Economy, said it's very logical. There's proven return on investment in doing whatever you can to turn your customers into advocates for your brand or your business. The way to create advocates is to offer superior customer service. And as my personal hero, marketing guru Seth Godin, says, selling to people who actually want to hear from you is more effective than interrupting strangers who don't. So, how do you get more customers through your door? What do we do when we get them in? We want to increase the sale via the number of items they purchase, right? First of all, you need to ask your customers to be part of the solution, not see them as part of the problem. First of all, take an hour or two to work out who your ideal customer is for this busy trading period. They may be different to who you would want to market to the rest of the year. Your criteria are that there are a significant number of them. They're a noticeable group, dynamic or type. You want to know how often they come in, what their biggest problem is that they come in to have solved, what they would typically purchase, how easy it is to fulfill their needs, how much they spend in one transaction usually, and how they like to have specials communicated to them. Is it through catalogues, social media, mobile technology, something else? We're not necessarily talking about your typical customer here, but the one whose needs you can service better, quicker, more profitably, and where there's the opportunity to increase the size of the sale or get them in more often over this busy trading time. Fact is, when you can articulate their needs better than they can and then meet them, you create enormous loyalty in your customers. It's not about being everything to everybody. If you try and do that, you'll be nothing to no one. What you need to do is focus on a specific group, sell them what they want and give them what they need. Here's where you can easily increase each sale with front of shop products. Now, with all my training, I always include a checklist of the exact questions you'd ask a customer who could be your ideal perfect customer. So you can quickly, simply, but effectively identify their key wants, needs, fears, and frustrations. Most importantly, what you learn is how to uncover needs they've never articulated before or may not even have realised they had. When you know these, we teach you how to build your marketing around them so you easily and effortlessly increase your sales. That's how you increase the lines per transaction and the frequency of visits, because you're tailoring really your products and your services to their needs. You truly understand them. So who would be interested in finding out a little bit more about that? Just pop your hand up or put a yes in the chat box. Great. Yes, yes, yes. I'm getting a few hands up as well. That's great. I'll put that on the agenda to talk about in a bit more detail later. Right now, though, you need to give some thought to making a list of the best ways you can entice them in. It's not just about tailoring your promotions, but how you communicate them too. Catalogues are okay but if you want to stand out, imagine how much more effective it could be if you were to send a text to or SMS to your ideal perfect customer group with a special on the one product that is their number one want or need. And hey guys, there are so many things you can do. If you wanted to print brochures for a competition, for example, did you know that you can get graphic design done for $5? You don't even need to pay for expensive graphic designers these days. There's a website called Fiverr.com, so it's Fiverr.com, that will create some of your graphics for $5. If there's any basic graphic design or adjustments to what you already have, then that's the place to go. Even better, your ideal perfect customer will be on Facebook along with the rest of the world. And you've got a very quick and inexpensive way to publicise the specials and products that will be compelling for them. You really need a Facebook page, and it's easy for you or one of your employees to set up a Facebook page, business page on Facebook. It only takes about 10 minutes. All you need to do is log into your account and create a page. There's all different categories you can choose from. I'd suggest you click on local business. That way, when customers come in and they check in on their own cell phone or iPad or whatever, then they're actually selling for you. But you'll need to put some graphics on your page. And guess what? You can even get Fiverr to create the banner for your Facebook page. How cool is that? Look, Facebook is a whole other topic I can't cover in much depth today, but I give my clients access to the latest and best Facebook and social media training, the kind that actually makes you money, and we make it super easy for you to understand, even if you're not really that familiar yet. And speaking of social media, here's another excellent way to get your ideal customers into the store at this hottest, most competitive trading period of the year, and that's Twitter. Twitter is deceptively powerful. In fact, customers are 75% more likely to purchase from a brand, so that's you or your key products, that they follow on Twitter. Now, let's think about that for a minute. If you know exactly what your customer wants and you can give it to them, imagine what could happen if you advertise to the same demographic on Facebook or Twitter. Things could go gangbusters pretty quickly. Now, I'm not sure how many of you here on the webinar know what Twitter is, so let's do another quick poll just so I know whether you need a 30-second explanation. So, do you know what Twitter is? Just yes or no in the chat box, or maybe, for that matter, maybe yes, maybe, or no. And maybe I would assume as you knowing a little bit about it. Okay. I'm getting lots of maybes and quite a few no's. Okay. So what Twitter is, it's a service for friends, family, co-workers, whoever, to communicate and stay connected. They do that with exchanging quick, frequent messages. They're short updates of just a sentence or two called tweets, which are posted to your profile. They then get sent to your friends or followers, and they're searchable on Twitter Search, which is a search engine. What's really important to know is that friends' endorsements, whether they're discussed in real life or through Facebook or Twitter updates, really increase your sales. You also get the opportunity to bring in new customers that way because people retweet great specials to their friends who match their same profile. And then, like magic, more new customers, and you haven't even stepped outside your door. I'm sure you have at least one Generation Y employee who could tweet some great specials out for you. So how do you get to these customers? Well, your Gen Y employee could help, or even someone at home could easily put together a little ad for Facebook. They're very small, you know, they cost very little, and they're really targeted specifically. You can even find a lookalike audience of people just like your customers, but they haven't found you yet, and advertise to them. It's pretty easy for someone who's reasonably familiar with Facebook to do, or we teach this exact strategy step by step in the program. We hear a lot about how important it is to get on social media for your marketing, and I know a lot of pharmacy owners are really getting that message, but quite a few are still feeling a bit bewildered about where to start, and that's understandable. Our generation sure wasn't born knowing this stuff. But for your pharmacy to be the best it can be and really make a difference in your community, you cannot ignore social media anymore, and it's actually quite simple, and it'll put you ahead of your competitors. Most of them aren't really that savvy with it yet. What's even better is that in terms of your time and money investment, you get major mileage from social media. So later what I'm going to do is offer you something that will absolutely fast track the setup and your sales success using sales media, so you get it done the right way and get the results you deserve. Now, who here would like to hear a bit more about that? Lots of yeses coming through. Thank you for that. Okay, so the great thing about this strategy of identifying your ideal perfect customer is that when you apply it, when you take a few minutes to identify who they are, brainstorm with your staff and then ask your patients or customers about their critical needs and wants, and then tailor your promotions and how you communicate them to them, you get them coming in more often, purchasing more and being more loyal to you. Prices are relevant when customers feel heard, understood, and their needs articulated and genuinely responded to. Which brings us to a really important question, and that is how motivated your employees are when it comes to selling. It's great to understand your customer, but do you understand your employees' motivators and how to help them actually want to take themselves out of their comfort zone to really help the customer? Let's run a quick poll. When it comes to selling, my employees are totally in favour of it, love it and proactive. 2, willing but a bit nervous, bit unsure, not wanting to be salesy or pushy. Or 3, content to be helpful and friendly but not really prepared to sell. So if you can just put a 1, 2 or 3 in your chat box there. Interesting. Okay. What I'm seeing here is a lot of pharmacists who are saying that their employees are pleasant to customers but a bit concerned about having to, in inverted commas, sell. William Clement Stone made the point that sales are contingent on the attitude of the salesperson, not the attitude of the prospect. You see, understanding your ideal perfect Christmas customer is critical. What it's really about, though, is that as your knowing your customer goes up, so does your success. Without that, your marketing isn't focused and it's not effective. It won't bring customers in, nor will it make you money. Knowing the needs, wants, fears and frustrations of your ideal perfect customer allows you to laser focus your marketing so they come in ready to buy something. That's great, but if you want to increase the size of the sale, then your retail employees have to be motivated to fully serve their needs beyond the basic transaction. That means having a deeper conversation with the customer or communicating with them in the most effective way. Do you or your retail manager know how to get them excited about doing that? Well, the results from that quick poll show no. Pharmacy staff typically are reluctant. And yet it's having proactive employees providing excellent, high-quality customer service that's going to turn those ideal perfect customers from happy customers to engaged, committed customers who buy more often. Look at it from the other side. What happens if your staff don't sell? If they just act as customer service people? Well, for starters, you'll make 5 times less money because of core reluctance, or really what we're talking about in a pharmacy environment is the reluctance to sell. Unmotivated employees take twice as many sick days. They're 5 times more likely to leave within the next year. They're 56% less likely to recommend friends use the product or service they represent. They don't innovate, they don't problem solve, nor do they take responsibility. On the other hand, businesses with higher than average levels of employee engagement have 27% higher profits. They have 50% higher sales, 50% greater customer loyalty levels, and 38% above average productivity. Plus, your employees won't just stay, their attitude will be better, which will improve customer service. For example, 41% of customers are loyal to a brand or a business because they experience good employee attitudes. This means a true understanding of the customer's needs and a habit of selling relevant products in a caring, authentic way to meet that need. When they do that, the customer really benefits, and so does the staff, knowing that they're genuinely making a difference in the work they do. Being proud of consulting and offering a real service to the customer that has value for the customer, which in turn makes them even more valuable to you, their employer. Especially as 68% of customers will reject a brand or business simply because of poor employee attitude. It's not about price. If it was, you'd already be out of business. You retain your customers and your patients on the strength of the trust and relationship you and your retail employees have with them. That same trust and relationship is the vehicle for meeting their needs more effectively and increasing your sales and ultimately your profitability in the process. Your staff need to understand this too. Knowledgeable and attentive employees account for 80% of the reasons consumers feel satisfied. There's a great book called The Leader Manager, and in it, the author, John Williamson, gives this terrific example of the subtle challenge of creating motivation. He says when he wants his puppy to move, he can hold up a dog biscuit and the puppy will move. But who's actually motivated? The pup wants the biscuit, but it's the owner who wants the pup to move. You, the pharmacy owner, are the one who's motivated, and your employees are the ones who move. So what value do you place on getting the puppy to move? Time for another quick poll. Employee motivation needs to be my major focus if I am to increase sales and profitability, or employee motivation is somewhat important, or employee motivation is unimportant. So if you can just pop your answer in the chat box, 1, 2 or 3. Now, we know we as human beings, and especially as business owners, can't settle for where we are today. That's why you're on this webinar. I can give you some quick insights today to get your team moving in the right direction, and in fact, motivating your employees and sustaining that motivation is pretty easy when you have the right system in place. We give you that very early in the program because without it, you cannot increase your sales. It's a basic building block to increasing your profitability. And you need it now while you have your busiest trading period and the opportunity to take those small regular transactions and use them to reinforce your customers' loyalty and increase the size of your sales to them, right? So who here knows about how to move staff from a place of reluctance to a genuine commitment to meet the customer needs and use selling as the vehicle to do that? Please just type a yes or no in the chat box so I know what your thoughts are on this. Okay. Just scrolling through and having a look at these. Okay, so most people are saying that they don't know how to get their people to be committed. So what's the quickest way to motivate your employees? No, it's actually not about money. A McKinsey quarterly survey identified 3 non-cash incentives that were more effective motivators than the 3 highest rated financial enticements. So these non-cash motivators were praise from immediate managers, which 67% of respondents said was either an extremely or a very effective motivator. Leadership attention, for example, one-on-one conversations, that came in at 63%. And a chance to lead projects or task forces, and that came in at 62%. The 3 highest rating financial incentives just didn't stack up. They were cash bonuses at 60%, increased base pay at 52%, and stock or stock options. That was even lower. These are all themes where it shows that the non-financial motivators are the ones that play critical roles in making employees feel that you value them, that you take their well-being seriously, and that you aim to create opportunities for personal growth and valuable experience. And you know, these themes recur constantly in most studies on the way to motivate and engage employees. A big reason your employees work in a pharmacy, not a grocery store or a gift store, is because of their instinct to care for and help customers with their problems. They need enough money to cover their basic needs, but job satisfaction comes from contribution, from variety, from having connection with others, and in many cases it's about personal growth and making a difference. These are all much stronger motivators. So here are 3 easy things you can do to tap into that motivation and connect it with selling so they have enthusiasm for it, knowing it has value for the customer. First of all, help them attach meaning to what they do. There was a Ken Blanchard book where he talked about dishwashing in a college cafeteria. Meaningless menial work, right? Wrong. Think of the impact those students in the cafeteria were going to have on the world. Business leaders, doctors, chemists, researchers. One load of unclean bacteria-infested dishes could wipe out a whole class. Look at it in terms of human impact. Also, Consider the fact that many students arrive tired and hungry. The person washing the dishes is an important part of the chain that provided nourishment in their lives. What a gift to give another human being. And being able to eat safely away from home is at the foundation of social civilization. It just doesn't get more important than that. With that in mind, have a conversation with your retail team about their work. Understanding how meaningful it actually is will give them greater motivation to genuinely find out what customers' needs are beyond, hello, can I help you? And be prepared to sell them solutions because they're contributing to the customer's health and life, not just selling boxes with barcodes on them. It completely takes any discomfort out of selling. Help your staff see the final result of their work. If they sell a product to a customer, ask for their feedback on how it helped them and then share that feedback with the rest of the team. Now when you talk about the products, it's not about selling them, but rather it's about how they helped a customer improve her quality of life. And that's a more noble cause. As an added benefit, this begins to convert your retail staff from being transactional sellers into consultative sellers. This is an evolution that, not incidentally, usually coincides with higher margins and greater customer loyalty. Number 2, make it fun. A bit of friendly competition is fun. Create a prize for whomever sells the most fragrances, for example. Make it something that would be popular and appreciated by most of the team. Or give them a target to aim for, something achievable that they can reach and be proud of and acknowledged for. Thirdly, empower each person with a special project or task. Your employees want to feel needed and valued and relevant. Here's a great way to motivate them and keep them accountable in a measurable way where they can see their achievement as well as you. Even a new challenge, something small like selling to a different type of customer or selling a different solution to a patient, can increase the person's motivation to sell. Remember, the most undervalued words are thank you and I value you. Please use them as often as you can, as long as you can be authentic as well. Fact is though, most of us aren't born knowing how to lead and motivate other people, let alone create a positive synergy in your team. But there is a 5-step formula I've created that helps you do that, and I share it with all my clients. It's so practical that when they've implemented it, they've seen their team motivation jump by up to 50% in a matter of weeks. And that's long-term, long-serving retail employees who are nice people, but they've never been able to get them to really cooperate and grow. Once they've learned from the training which buttons to push, it's switched on a light inside them like never before. I've got one more excellent sales strategy I want to share with you in a moment, but first I want to offer you an opportunity to really take your business to the next level. Look, what I've been able to do today is give you a taste of what you can achieve quickly and cheaply, really with just a little bit of effort. To make a sustainable long-term improvement and growth in your profitability, you need to have a good marketing plan that works, consistent team involvement, and external support to keep it all on track. And the fact is, you're not there yet, are you? You'll go back to the store, your emails will come in, your team members will come in, patients will claim your attention, the phone will keep ringing, and you'll be right back there where you were. Time gets in the way. I understand that. Life gets in the way, and it's too easy to go back to the way it's been. And you know what? We're all the same. It's not your fault. It's just human nature to gravitate back to that default position. But that default position is causing your business to suffer a slow, painful death as your profitability continues to dwindle. I'm here to shake you up, and I make no apology for that. You already know that if you don't hurry up and commit to making changes in your business, make them, and this is the important part, sustain that effort as well as the changes, then that knot in your stomach every time you think about the major grocery chains and drugstores eating into your profits is going to get bigger. But I'm going to show you guys how you can turn the tide and make this happen. You're going to walk away from this webinar, you're going to get busy and forget, and life's going to get in the way, but you have to do something. You know you have to do something. So I'm going to take the time now and show you, and honestly, I'd be doing you a disservice if I didn't show you how I can work with you to achieve all this. I'm going to take the time now to show you how I can help you, because if I didn't, you'll walk away from here and nothing will change. 1 hour is not enough. What we're offering is an end-to-end marketing program that's been designed specifically for pharmacy. It's based on a combination of my deep knowledge of pharmacy, of team dynamics and buyer behaviour and cutting-edge marketing principles that are working in retail pharmacy today. And when I say working in pharmacy right now, let me tell you, there are only a very few pharmacists globally that know and are working these principles. So if you're eligible to do this program, and not everybody will be, then you'll be part of an exclusive club getting a head start on your competitors. And best of all, you can involve your store manager so it takes very little of your time, and it should increase your front of store sales by at least 10% and increase your profitability by as much as 30%. You see, it takes much more than marketing principles to make a sustainable improvement to your bottom line. And so I've included some simple strategies with exact steps to follow to create the time for you and your employees to work on increasing your pharmacy's profitability. Through the program, I also teach you how you can get and keep your team motivated, particularly motivated to sell. Teach them the skills they need to do that with integrity and heart, but also with professionalism, so your patients and customers feel cared for and are given maximum value at all times. So let's go into a little more detail about what's included in the marketing program. Firstly, you get 12 months full unrestricted access for you and your store manager to the online resource library with all the exercises and workbooks for the 10 key learning modules. These are the building blocks you need to increase your front of shop sales by at least 10% and your profitability by even more. Why we provide it online is so you can go at your own pace. You could do a module a month and you'll solidly embed these principles into your team and your business at a reasonable pace. Some of you will want to get your results much more quickly than that though. If you want to, you could do a module every 2 weeks and give your business and your profits a total makeover in 5 to 6 months. Totally up to you. So does the idea of creating more time for yourself as well as making more money appeal? Well, what we've done is give you the flexibility to involve your employees in the program. Imagine having a look at the workbook for that module with your retail manager, and then she goes off and does the exercises. She's the one involving the rest of your team, and you just project manage it and analyse the results. See, that way you have time for other things while they're making sales for you. And to make this even more appealing for your retail manager, besides having a unique opportunity to increase her skills, this program will make her more marketable as well as more knowledgeable. The added benefit for you is that because you're working alongside her on implementation, you're eligible for continuing professional development points as well. So, what else is included? Well, there's 7 keys to increasing you and your staff's productivity by up to 30%. This alone will free up your time and energy for marketing, which of course will translate directly to increasing your profitability. You'll also get 6 simple but amazingly effective strategies to create the kind of employee motivation that will make them largely self-managing, totally proactive, and actually enthusiastic to build your business because they get a sense of personal achievement from it too. In addition to that, I'll give you a foolproof model of leadership which is invaluable for your retail manager or you to follow so you can keep the team on track and united in fulfilling your business vision. Having that will mean you can live the lifestyle you want with the business success you need. You'll also get a complete streamlined system for your managers to use which accurately assesses and, just as importantly, effectively manages employee performance so you don't have to be involved and you can instead concentrate on working on your business. We also provide the exact template you need to deeply and quickly understand your pharmacy's customers and to do that so effectively that you'll be able to articulate and meet their wants and needs better than they can themselves, as well as learning how to sell to them how they want to be sold to. What that creates is a passionately loyal customer base who trust you and refer their friends. Imagine the security that gives you and what that does for your profitability when you can predict what they want to buy, how often and in what quantities. It significantly reduces the risk of having dead or slow-moving stock. Now here's another really important inclusion. I'm going to give you exclusive access to a done-for-you sales training system for your manager to implement with the rest of your team. What this does is effectively turn each team member into a sales powerhouse so they maximise the front of store sales gracefully and with integrity and your customers buy and buy and buy. What really is key here is your employees will love doing it because they're genuinely helping your customers, and your customers and patients feel understood and love having their needs properly met. There are also 10 subliminal secrets in marketing that only one pharmacy owner I know has ever even heard about, but I'll teach them to you, and they really give you an unfair advantage over the competition, making customers rush to buy from you instead. You'll also want access to this special 5-step method to radically increase your customer service in 90 days. What it does is bring a deluge of new customers into your store that fits your ideal customer profile without you having to move outside of your pharmacy to get them, or even rely on foot traffic for them to find you. And to make sure everything you learn in this course is implemented and measured, we've included a breakthrough planning formula so you can effortlessly stay on track. Plus, and this is really cool, a complete done-for-you marketing campaign with swipe files, so all you need to do is add in your pharmacy's information and the products you know your customers want, and watch your sales skyrocket. Now, I know that's a lot of valuable information and training, and in 2014 I'll be offering this course for $3,495, and that's great value given all you'll learn not only about sales and marketing but also leadership, productivity and employee motivation. What you're receiving isn't just the right system to increase your pharmacy's profitability quickly and sustainably, but a way of benefiting your customers and staff, and best of all, you can get other people to implement it for you. So $3,495 is pretty much a bargain, right? Especially considering this program will increase your sales by at least 10%, which is worth minimum 30 times your investment in the program. But I'm really passionate about seeing pharmacies thrive, and so today I'm going to offer a discount to the first 20 people who join the program. Why am I doing this? Well, first and foremost, I always love to reward action takers. They're the ones who are going to be successful in implementing the program and increasing their business. That's good for them, it's good for me as the trainer, and it's really good for the communities that need their pharmacies. A more focused pharmacy will thrive and be committed to giving maximum value to their customers. It's a win 3 ways. That said, I'm respectful of the fact we're coming into a hectic trading period of the year for pharmacy, so I'm going to take care of you and make sure that although we're closing enrolment for this first intake really soon, the program won't actually begin until February once trading has returned to normal. I also want testimonials for this new program. It's based on 20 years experience and knowledge and up-to-the-minute research and strategies. It's also been created in today's market conditions in pharmacy. You'll finally be able to get a head start on your opposition. In fact, you'll eat their lunch before they've even realised you've helped yourself to their sandwiches. Now, I only have time to work directly with 20 people though, and to make sure that they get the results that they want. If you want me as your personal marketing consultant, then you're really going to have to act quickly. And it's really important to me that you are successful. This is the part that most programs never include, and I'm passionate about delivering value. So much so that if you complete all the modules successfully and keep your sales metrics, and you can show us that you failed to increase your front of store sales by at least 10%, then we'll refund your entire investment and you get to keep all the materials. That's a 100% money back guarantee. If you can honestly come to me at the end of 12 months and you've implemented everything I've told you to do, and you can honestly say you haven't learned or achieved anything, I'll not only give you your money back, but for wasting your time, I really will gladly return your investment. I don't deserve to have, your investment if we can't make that happen. Really, can I be fairer than that? And because I really want to make sure you get everything you need to make your success with the program an absolute certainty, I've included some great extra bonuses. The first one is a 3-day closed-door live workshop for pharmacy owners, full of the latest sales and marketing strategies, and most importantly, how to implement them straight into your pharmacy as soon as you finish the workshop. The value of this workshop alone is nearly $2,500. We are also planning to record that, so if you can't make it to the workshop, you will have an opportunity to receive that workshop via DVD or online. What we're also going to give you is 2 tickets to a 1-day workshop as well on how to generate a new stream of income using your current resources. Why 2 tickets? Well, so you can bring along your retail manager who can then do all the hard work for you when you get back to the pharmacy. This workshop would normally cost $1,790. I also want to give you 2 tickets to another workshop we're running on how to get new targeted customers through your door, also valued at $1,790. And of course, your employees need to be able to sell. So in order to support the efforts of your retail manager in training them, I'm providing 6 webinars for them to dive deeper into how to sell to your customers, and that's valued at $3,600. These interactive webinars can really bring the sales strategies to life for your staff. It allows them to try them out, tweak them, and get the support of experts to develop this important life skill that will directly benefit your profitability as well as their enthusiasm for their work. It's also critical that you have the right people on your team to make this all happen. And let's face it, employees come and go, and it's an expensive, time-consuming headache to replace them, right? So what we've done is added into the bonuses a special done-for-you, foolproof recruitment system that anyone in your pharmacy can use easily to attract, engage, and then hire the right people every time. The thing to pay careful attention to here is anyone can use it successfully. That means you can empower any one of your team to handle recruitment now, and they'll have the tools they need to get it right. And finally, for this intake only, I'm making myself available for 10 live 1-hour group Q&A sessions. I recognise that many people really enjoy interaction as a way of learning. Being able to listen, question and contribute is great, isn't it? So here's a great way for you to share your challenges and get advice personalised to your pharmacy's needs. At my consulting rates, that works out at a value of $6,000. Now, as I said, I love to reward action takers, and I want you going into Christmas with the comfort and anticipation of a red-hot program that is going to make a significant positive impact on your profits in 2014. And yes, I know I've given you some fantastic strategies today that you can capitalise on this holiday period, but I don't want to leave you waiting until February. So I've seen what happens. How many of us have attended a webinar or an event, come away totally inspired, but have had to wait too long for the next action step, and in the meantime I've lost their momentum. I know I have. So what I've done for those of you who joined the program today is created a special secret sales and marketing hot strategies program that will be delivered to your email inbox weekly. This is a standalone program that would retail for $497. You'll get simple but effective tweaks you can implement immediately to get some quick wins over the holiday trading period. We've trawled the globe for these so you can quickly increase your profits without wasting time on trial and error like other pharmacies have had to. And as a special gift to you today, just because I'm feeling generous and full of the Christmas spirit, I'm also going to give you 12 world-class summaries of the best business and self-development books of all time for you to read over the holidays. Now, these summaries will save you hours of reading, and as you would understand by now, I'm all about cleverly leveraging your time, and here you can absorb and implement the gold in super quick time, moving you towards the business of your dreams at warp speed. And this gift is worth $297. Ultimately, what's really important is that you get back to growing your pharmacy business and providing massive value to our communities who need you. So I'm going to do something extra special to make sure it's within the reach of whoever wants this for yourself as passionately as I want it for you. So instead of $3,495 for the program, I'm making it $2,495 for the first 20 people who sign up via this webinar. Never mind the value of the program, the bonuses alone are worth around $17,500, and you get a full money-back guarantee. Remember, you also receive 12 months access to all the online resources. You get face-to-face time with me in practical workshops, done-for-you templates and systems for marketing, recruitment and leadership, sales webinars for your staff, live Q&A sessions where we mastermind your business, as well as sales and marketing advice to help you through the holiday trading period. I'm only holding this price and these extra bonuses for those people savvy enough to apply for the February intake. We have limited places because we really want to work closely with you to make sure you're successful. So you should click on the link in the chat box, which I'm going to put in now, to make sure that you don't miss out. So bear with me for a moment. I'll just pop that in. There we go. Okay, so I'll give you a moment now to do that, and then we'll continue with the third and final strategy for today. Okay. All right. Okay, so let's finish up with this third strategy to quickly and easily increase your profitability over this Christmas period. Once you've identified your ideal perfect customer, you have the opportunity and the knowledge to bring more of them in at this lucrative time of year. And the better you understand your customer, the more you can tailor your offers to them. Specialise. Of course, getting more of them in the door more often is only the first step. Next, you need to make sure that your employees are firing on all cylinders, so they're willing and motivated to build the relationships and trust and increase the size of sales in the process. Then it comes down to selling skills, and most particularly selling skills that are ethical and appropriate for a pharmacy. Now, that is tackled in depth in the program. Who realises that being comfortable with and using selling skills is really what it's all about? Please just raise your hand or pop a yes in the chat box. Oh, I'm getting yes, 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 yes. Yes. Great. Good to see that we're all in agreement. You're all successful people, and with that comes a responsibility to serve your community and to make sure that your team is doing that in order to make a difference in customers' lives. I'm sure you appreciate that. The key here is not to sell a product. What your retail employees need to do is sell what it can do for the customer. Now, fact is that once you've attracted your ideal perfect customers in the door with your offer, there is a golden rule. People buy for emotional reasons and justify with logic. There's a third element that impacts their buying decision too, and that's a tendency to look for reasons to avoid buying. Napoleon said, men are moved by two levers only, fear and self-interest. In other words, emotions. So once you know your customers' wants, needs, fears and frustrations, that knowledge guides you to what products are going to meet their needs and wants. We are people selling to people. It's not enough to truly understand your customers, but you and your retail team need to be really clear on what benefits your customers will gain from using the product. And it goes way beyond the physical benefits to actual emotional benefits. You see, when your staff understand what those are, they speak with conviction because they know it would be a crime for the customer not to buy the product and benefit from it. It's not about the money, it's about the value they provide to the customer, making a difference to their lives by understanding them and advocating for them so they get the best advice and products to solve their problems and improve their health and well-being or the health of their family. If your team members can go home at the end of the day knowing they've actually truly helped people and made a difference, they'll come to work enthusiastic and prepared to do whatever it takes in order to help customers live better lives. It might be a particular vitamin that makes the difference, a fragrance which makes them feel good, or a different brand of shampoo that gives them a lift. It's all about making a difference in the world. When they respect that, then it's okay to give the customer a contrast to get them to buy the product and experience the benefits. What I mean by that is it's okay to build some pain when it's for a good purpose. Now, most people are more motivated to avoid something negative than to move towards something positive. And Tony Robbins talks about the pain versus pleasure principle and the fact that as human beings, we are driven more to avoid pain than move towards pleasure. So then it's pretty clear how you structure your story in talking to the customer. Build the pain and then show how the product benefits them. And you do it in a way where you build a picture of what life will be like for them when they're using this product, what they'll see and hear, but most importantly, how they'll feel. What are the emotions they want to feel? That's what you highlight in your solution. This is a simple exercise you do with your employees and then do as a quick role play. When you know your customer, when you're motivated to sell from your heart using a technique like this, it is incredibly effective because it marries up with trust, which Stephen Covey described as being the glue of life. It's the most essential ingredient in effective communication. It really is the foundational principle that holds all relationships. That trust comes from the patient or customer, and equally your team have trust in themselves and the relevance and value of their message. That's an immediate way that they will increase your sales over this holiday trading period. Now, all I've done is scratch the surface here. You get excellent support in the trading program with personality profiling tools and communication templates, so your employees know exactly how to read your customers and tailor their communication to make sure their message is heard and acted on. It looks like magic, but it feels really normal and enjoyable for your customers. And so typically, customer service people love the system because it's easy and it helps them make their difference. Okay, so I trust that those strategies have been immensely valuable and will make a real difference to your Christmas results this year. So listen, we've got a few minutes to answer some questions, though quite a few of these questions that you've been asking as we go are things that you're going to find out in the marketing program anyway. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the most recent ones that have come through on the chat box. I'll answer those for you first. I'm being asked, when does the program start? So just to recap, you get full access to the program from February 1st, 2014. That is a Saturday, so you have the opportunity to explore all the resources over the weekend if you want to. Okay, here's another one. Okay, you've got, the question was, how long do I have access for? You have access for the full 12 months, regardless of how quickly you work through it. So you do have the opportunity to work through the program at your own pace. Some people fly through it in 5 or 6 months. Others prefer to make the changes more gradually. It's up to you. Okay, now Jeff is asking, do I need to do it myself or can one of my employees do it? Jeff, I suggest you familiarise yourself with each module and then have your store manager implement the strategies with your employees and report back to you weekly on how it's going, and then you can help her refine the implementation if you want to. Okay, and Paul has a great question too. Okay, so he's just wondering what the situation is with assessments. When you complete the exercises, you send them back to us and we will then provide proof that you've completed each module, and you'll receive a qualification, a certificate in marketing, qualification and certificate at the end once you've completed each of the modules. Okay, let me just have a look. That looks like most of the questions have been answered now. So if you haven't already, please go to the bottom of the chat box and you'll see that we've posted up the link you need to register for the program. Just click through now and enter your details and you'll be set up to get moving straight away on February 1, 2014 when the program starts. And remember, if you want to learn more or get support in implementing the content, then, please go to the web address on that page. So pharmacyprofitsecrets.com/CERTIV, or you can click on the link at the bottom of the chat box, and I look forward to catching you on the flip side. And finally, I want to thank you all so much for participating today, for being so interactive, and I really look forward to seeing you on the inside. Bye for now.